The first photo from Venus were never supposed to exist because scientists believed the surface was in total darkness. A Soviet probe landed on Venus, and what it saw changed planetary science forever. The biggest mistake about Venus. In the mid-20th century, scientists believed Venus was a wet tropical world. They thought the thick cloud blocked sunlight, that the surface might be a warm swamp, maybe even capable of supporting life. Early Soviet probes were even built with water sensor, but Venus was not a paradise. It was hell. The atmosphere was not protecting the planet from heat, it was trapping it. This created a runaway greenhouse effect. Surface temperature about 475 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead. Atmospheric pressure about 90 times stronger than Earth. That's like being 1 kilometer under water. The probes that were crushed. The first Soviet missions failed completely. The probes did not just stop working, they were physically crushed by the pressure before reaching the surface. Scientists originally believed the pressure was only 20 times Earth's. They were wrong. One probe stopped transmitting 27 kilometers above the surface. It didn't burn up, it was crushed. The next mission tried a risky idea. Instead of redesigning everything, engineers reduced parachute size. The idea was simple: fall faster, spend less time in the crushing atmosphere, reach the ground before being destroyed. It didn't work. Both probes imploded 11 kilometers above the surface. Building a submarine for space. Finally, engineers gave up on traditional spacecraft design. They built something new, not a lander, a submarine for space. This was Venera 7. Instead of aluminium, it used a forged titanium sphere, strong enough to handle 180 atmospheres of pressure. They removed almost everything inside. No window, no solar panel, just armor and a battery. When it landed in 1970, something went wrong. The parachute failed. The probe fell hard onto the surface. Mission control thought it was dead. But later, someone noticed a faint signal in the static. It was still whispering. For 23 minutes, it transmitted temperature data. It was the first machine in human history to send data from another planet's surface. And it confirmed the truth. Venus was 475 degrees Celsius. The heat problem. Pressure was solved, but temperature was still a killer. At 475 degrees Celsius, normal electronics melt instantly. Cooling system would not work. Radiators release heat into cooler air. But Venus air is hotter than the spacecraft. So engineers did something clever. Before descent, they cooled the lander to -10 degrees Celsius. It started its mission as a block of ice falling into a furnace. Inside, they packed a special material, lithium nitrate trihydrate. When it melts, it absorbs heat without rising temperature. This bought them about 1 hour of life. That was all they needed. The first photo from Hell. In 1975, Venera 9 landed successfully. Scientists expected total darkness. They even installed powerful floodlights. But when the camera activated, the light were not needed. Venus was not dark. The thick atmosphere scattered sunlight evenly. The brightness was like a cloudy summer day in Moscow. That discovery alone shocked scientists. Then came the images: sharp rocks, jagged edges, clear horizon. The wind was calm. The surface was not smooth desert sand. It was broken volcanic rock. 3 days later, Venera 10 landed 2000 kilometers away. Its image showed flat rock plains. This proved Venus had different geological regions: mountains, slopes, plains. It was not uniform. The Orange World. In 1982, the Soviet Union launched its most advanced probes, Venera 13 and Venera 14. These missions aimed to capture color images. The result? A world completely bathed in orange. The rocks were orange, the skies were orange, the horizon was orange. Why? Venus' thick atmosphere filtered out blue and green light. Only red and orange wavelengths reached the surface. To prove this, the lander included a color calibration chart. White painted looked orange. Blue paint looked nearly black. If a human stood there, they would see everything in sepia tones. The first sound from another planet. Venera 13 also recorded audio. The first sound ever captured on another planet. The wind speed was only half a meter per second. But Venus air is extremely dense. So even slow wind sounded like a deep mechanical drone. The probe also drilled into rock. The microphone recorded the explosive firing of the drill and the grinding of basaltic stone. Venus was not silent, it was loud. The famous failure. Venera 14 had a strange accident. It carried a device to test soil hardness. But when the lens cap was ejected, it landed exactly where the test arc would strike. The probe measured the lens cap instead of the ground. It reported the surface was extremely hard, technically correct. It was hitting titanium, not Venus. The Scorpion mystery. Decade later, a scientist reanalyzed old images from Venera 13, he claimed that he saw moving objects. One looked like a scorpion. It appeared in one scan, disappeared later. He suggested exotic life forms might exist. The global scientific community disagreed. Most experts concluded the shape were pieces of melty insulation or part of the lander falling off in extreme heat. The movement was not life, it was the probe slowing, dying. The end of surface photography. After 1982, no spacecraft has taken new surface photos of Venus. Later missions like Venera 15 and Venera 16 use radar to map the planet. The Vega missions dropped landers and balloons, but no new cameras. The Soviet Union collapsed. The program ended. The original image data was stored on magnetic tapes. Over time, they degraded. In the 2000s, researchers digitally restored the raw signals. Modern computers revealed detail invisible in the 1980s. Sharper rocks, cleaner horizon, more texture. Even missions like Parker Solar Probe have detected faint heat signals from Venus. But no new surface photos, not one. So the final reality, we have HD video from Mars, we have flown past Pluto, but for the planet closest to Earth, our only real surface images are from 1982, captured by a titanium sphere that melted shortly after. Until a new lander survives the descents, the orange rocky plains of Venera remain our only true views of Hell.